Hi, everyone. This is Angela, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Maren. You've got episode 118, our best homeschool hack, homeschooling on Autopilot. And we are going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But first, we wanted to say hi to you and thank you for being here again. Thanks for showing up every week. And if you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Yeah, if you are new here, welcome. We have a lot of new listeners, so we just wanted to say hello and tell you just briefly a little bit about ourselves. So we are here to help you to feel good about what you're doing because you are doing a lot. We know that. And we want you to feel good about the way that you homeschool because it's probably really good for you and your personality and your kids' personality. And so instead of feeling like you should be doing all the things that people on the internet are doing or we're doing or your neighbor's doing. We want you to feel good about the way that you do things.
Exactly. And we just want to show up here for you and just be an example of that. So we're just trying to live this out. That's why we started this podcast in the first place, is because we needed to hear that message and we want to share that with you too. So we want to kind of create a community of people who are just lifting each other up in that way. So thanks for showing up today.
Yeah, definitely. And a special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon and get extra episodes and a community of people, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. And this summer, we are asking everyone to share our podcast. We have a goal and we want to get 10,000 followers on Instagram, because when you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, you get the swipe up. And for some reason, we just really want it.
We want that swipe up.
We want it bad.
We've got a lot of links to share with you people. It's so much easier. It's going to be so much easier for all of us. And it's just like a great goal for us because we want to spread this message that we just talked about, like we want to ease people's minds about homeschooling. And what better way than to share this with like your group of homeschoolers, your group of friends. And we're getting there. Thank you so much. I think you all stepped up. You took this seriously. You're making it happen. Way to go.
Yeah. So we started asking this, I don't know, the beginning of the summer, and we're growing a lot. So we really appreciate it. Yeah. So if you have not shared our podcast with your friend in real life or on social media, we would love to have you do that. In any way, or word of mouth, or whatever you do to share it. Thank you for doing that. Right. Thank you in advance.
Right. And if you're not on Instagram, totally fine. Also, just share this with your friends. Yep. You don't need to do it on Instagram. It's totally fine.
Yep. All right. So we have a lot of things to catch up on.
I know.
Too many. We're not going to talk about them all today. Yep. But Maren, you are on a big trip.
Yeah.
And we just want to hear a little bit about that before moving forward.
Yeah. So at the end of July, my family and I sold our house and we're going to be traveling for a year. Our first stop here is New York City. We've been here for, a couple weeks. And it's a completely new experience for us. So many new things. I mean, every day is like a huge learning experience. It's just, we're growing and changing so much. It's amazing. So, I mean, there are great things and really hard things that come along with that.
Yep.
I do share a lot on Instagram. Actually, my personal Instagram page, especially Unrefined Maren. But also on Homeschool Unrefined sometimes too. So if you want to follow me there for more of that, I would love that. And also in our Patreon episodes, I do go in a lot more into depth about like just what's going well and what's hard for us here.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had an episode, I don't know, our check-in for July.
Yeah.
You talked, our check-in for August. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're in August.
The summer is flying.
Our check-in for August. Yeah. You shared a lot about your trip. So if you are a Patreon supporter, you can get that.
Yep. And we'd love to have you there too, just to form that community. But anyway, it's, New York is our first trip. It's our first trip on this year-long adventure. And it is, I think, probably the most different of any place we're going to go all year. Just because it's like a huge city. and we are immersed. We're completely immersed in it. So
Yep.
yeah,
That's awesome. And then you have plans to be gone for the whole year.
yes, yep.
And you're going to go like basically Pacific Northwest down the West Coast to Austin.
Yeah, exactly. And we did that because we had to be out here for a wedding anyway. So we decided let's spend a month in New York City. And then also we need to be back in Minneapolis area in September for another wedding. So we thought, okay, we'll go back to Minneapolis, kind of get our bearings, and then start driving. So West Coast, and then end up in Austin. Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's going to be, I can't wait to share my experiences with all of you. So
yes,
yeah,
definitely.
And if you have any tips, if anybody has any tips along the way, places we're going, I would love that. Some of you have messaged me about even places in New York City, and they've been the best. You have the best tips.
Yep, for sure.
The best insight.
The personal recommendations are way better than like Googling fun things to do in New York City or whatever.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because you get it. You all get it. You've got kids. You have like this frame, this frame of mind that's like, we're going to be learning stuff, but it's going to be fun. And it's just, you guys know what to do. You know what to do. Yep. So thank you.
Yeah.
So much. And we also, right before this trip, like a week before we started this epic trip,
or less than a week, like 5 days.
5 days before we started this epic trip, you and I went on an epic trip.
We went to the Brave Learner Conference, and we haven't gotten a chance to even debrief on that. So we just thought we'd do a little bit of that here.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. We went to Cincinnati, and the most exciting part was just meeting all the people that we met.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I have a whole new group of friends.
Oh, me too.
Or people that I know now on the internet. Like I was able to put names with faces, or faces with names.
Yeah.
Faces with Instagram handles.
Exactly.
So I love it so much, and loved meeting you, and loved, of course, Julie Bogart and her message at the Brave Learner Conference. It re-energized me for this school year.
Yeah,
I was feeling, I don't want to say down, but just kind of like bleh about the year.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
Like already, I was feeling, well, were you feeling like kind of already tired? Already depleted? Already like buried?
Still tired. Still
tired. Yeah.
From the year before, not really knowing how we're going to proceed for this year. And it just gave me this boost that I needed.
Yeah.
And I feel energized and ready to take on the year. So,
I mean, it's everything I think about theoretically. And then she like stamps it in, like makes it like, yeah, this isn't just an idea. This is for real. And it's legit. And you need to live like this. Like you really believe these things. And because she's done it, and she's done it so well, and maybe even not so well a lot of times, like she's really clear about that too. But it's, oh gosh, I don't know. It's just, she knows exactly what we need to hear.
Yeah. That was my first homeschool conference, and I have to tell you, like, I don't want to go to a different kind of homeschool conference.
Because you're going to be disappointed after that.
I don't want to go to, like, I don't know. I'm imagining what a homeschool conference is like. I'm sure there's a lot of inspiration, but then I'm picturing like lots of overwhelm about things that I should be doing that I'm not doing.
Right.
Maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not really what happens. But I feel like this was not that. This was like boosting me up, which is what I needed, versus making me feel like, oh, here's 10 things you need to do for this year.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there wasn't like a, room full of curriculum you can buy. Like a lot of those homeschool conferences, it's like a gymnasium full of stuff you can buy. And that just wasn't the case because there's just, yep. Yeah, there's just, I mean, I think Julie really gets it. Like there are a few great things that you could use, and then you don't need a ton. You don't need everything. Or you probably have a lot of stuff. You have what you need. So
we had a great time. And if we got to meet you, we are so happy that we got to meet you.
I know. Thank you. I just have to say, thank you all so much for coming out. We had a meetup. And it blew our minds. Really, you all blew our minds because
Yep.
we were thinking maybe 10 people will show up. I don't know.
Yeah, we had no idea. We were like,
we got a reservation for 20 and I think 40 people came. I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah. It was great.
It was great. So it was, yeah, you all showed up.
Yeah. It was really fun. I have to say, like, as an introvert, it was
Tell us.
no, I mean, typically I do not enjoy like big group settings, meeting lots of people, stuff like that. That's like not my most exciting thing to do.
Yeah.
For some reason, I like ate this up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved this.
Yeah.
So much. It's out of character for me. And I think it's because like I already know that all of the people there kind of think like me.
Yeah.
So I feel like
yeah.
we're instant friends.
Yeah, you have
like
a good
we have
foundation.
an instant connection.
Mm-hmm.
Instant connection. And it's not like you're looking around this room going, like, oh, I wonder if I'll connect with anybody. It's more like I'm looking around this room going, oh, wow, I will connect with all these people.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was great. I loved it.
It was really great.
Yeah. So we are now going to have you listen in on one of our favorite conversations. I actually think about this episode or this part of this episode probably 3 times a week. I try to remember like the message and what we talked about in this episode.
What did I say?
No.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, or most of the time, I say things because I need to hear it myself.
Exactly.
I say what I need to hear. And this is a message that I need to hear a lot.
Yeah.
It's about homeschooling on Autopilot. And it's kind of a hack that we both use to like create routine and to assure yourself that you are doing a lot, to know that you are doing a lot of your kids are working hard.
Yes.
Even when it can seem like they're not.
Yes. We need to realize that we don't have to be working 1000% at any possible moment. Like we need these autopilot things to happen so that we can do well in, during the time when
we can put our
really
brain power
there.
Yeah, like into things that are different and new. These are like good routine things that are just always happening that we can feel good about in our homeschool. So
I can't wait for you to listen to this.
Yep. So enjoy this conversation, and then we will come back at the end with all new LTWs.
All right, let's move on to our topic where Autopilot saves the day.
Yep. And
I firmly believe Autopilot does save my day.
Yeah, this is something that we didn't really plan on. Like, I didn't plan on having something for Autopilot. We just kind of started talking about like our Autopilot things that we do.
Yeah.
And then we realized this is a thing.
This is a thing, and it's an important thing.
It's a really big thing. This is like a major part of my homeschool. This Autopilot idea.
Sometimes it's the only thing.
Yeah. So we just thought we should talk about.
Let's talk about it.
So what is Autopilot for you, Maren?
Well, for me, when I think of Autopilot, I think of routines that we do that I don't have to be involved in, or I don't have to be the leader of that thing. And there's a lot of learning that happens.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of bang for your buck with Autopilot things.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think of?
Well, I don't necessarily think of routines. I wouldn't say it that way. I would say it is it's like my bag of ideas. Like my different tricks I don't want to say tricks. Just different things in my
Oh, yeah. Well, we all have tricks. I get it. We all understand.
This isn't a trick though. This is just like my bag of ideas that I can pick from that we can do to when I need to not be involved. Just like what you said.
Okay.
I don't want to be in charge of this or be needed very much for my minimal involvement.
Minimal involvement, exactly.
Lots of learning.
Yes.
Yep. So these aren't going to be exciting things. These aren't exciting homeschool activities, really.
Yeah, right. They're not going to be the big projects that you plan for all of you to get together and do these things and have a big, you know, hurrah about it. It's not that.
Right. It's things that are tried and true
Right.
that your kids know how to do and can do without you.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So why do you think you need these autopilot things, Angela?
Well, I need it so that I can get through a rough day or a rough week or a rough season. If I need to be doing other things or I need to rest or I've got something going on or whatever, or I need a break from them.
Right.
Then I pull out the autopilot. So it's good for me because there's not a lot of decision making that I have to do.
Right, exactly.
There's not a lot of contemplating. There's no thinking about what I'm going to do. I just, you know what? I'm going to do these autopilot things today.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's so good. One of my big reasons is so that my decision making, like you said, my decision making doesn't have to be happening in maybe an intense situation. It's something I've already planned ahead, like or we've practiced so many times that it's not something we have to even think about. It's not in the front of our brain. It's like all taking place, just running in the background kind of. And so we are not using a lot of brain power to do this.
Right.
So this is, which just gives us so much energy to do the actual thing that we're doing.
Yep.
The autopilot thing. And it gives us energy to be kind to each other. It gives us, energy to maybe get jobs done around the house that never get done.
Yeah.
Because when you're not having to use your brain for the decisions, making these decisions or planning these things out right then and there, you can just it frees up your brain, it frees up your energy.
Yep.
To do those kind of things.
Yeah. So just because I'm curious, how often would you say you're using your autopilot stuff?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, when we first started talking about this, I was thinking, well, kind of like you, just whenever as needed.
Yep.
But really, then I started really thinking about it. Now I'm writing it down every day. We're doing some autopilot things.
You are? Okay.
Every morning I'm calling it morning work.
Okay.
And it's a big part of our morning now.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay.
And we'll get into later what those things are. But I'm realizing the value of it.
Yep.
And I'm realizing that it's just working so well. It's just working so well. So why not keep doing it?
Yep. Yeah. Every time I do autopilot, I think, I got to do this more often.
Yeah.
This is great. This worked out so well.
Yeah.
We do it about, mine isn't a daily routine, but I pull out stuff probably at least once or twice a week. But sometimes if it's a rough week or like I said, a rough season, which would be last spring for me, I'm doing it all the time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's good for parents to know it's okay to do this.
Right.
When you're doing it in a rough season, and it's okay to do it on a regular day when everything's going well.
Right. I was thinking it's not a second choice. It's not like a less preferable option. It's not better than not doing things on autopilot. It's actually just as good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like all doing all the intense things is number one, second autopilot, third nothing.
Yeah.
It's not in that order.
Right.
It's not. Definitely.
Right.
I love that. Another good reason to have things on autopilot is it makes me more relaxed and calm and happy.
Yeah.
As a mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am not coercing people into doing work. It's not formal. It's not a super formal time. So I'm not in charge and everyone's listening to me. It's just a more relaxed environment. I am happier when that is the case.
Oh, yeah.
And I think my kids are too, probably.
Yeah. Because are your kids working more independently? When they're doing autopilot? Yeah, mine too. So everybody just kind of does their own independent thing, and I'm kind of around on an as-needed basis.
Yes.
But I'm probably doing something else, like cleaning something or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Resting. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like you are there as a reference or a guide or whatever, but you are not the one like making it all happen.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. So I'm in a happier place.
Yes, me too.
Emotionally when we do that. Another thing that I think makes this so good is I think it empowers kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that, like what I was just saying, the parents aren't, like I'm not in charge telling my kids what to do. They are making the decision. They're looking at what they need to do. There's maybe a list of things, and then they make the decision to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so there's just more ownership, I think, in that.
Well, at least with my kids, they're managing their time a little bit. So they have this big thing and they think like, okay, well, I'm going to do this first and then this, and then I'm going to give myself a break, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to have a rest time, and then whatever. And I think that's great for their own time management skills.
It is. It's a skill, and they may not be good at it right now.
No.
And so that it can be frustrating in that way.
Yeah.
But that also just shows you, okay, this is where they can probably work on this too. So yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
The other thing that is great about Autopilot is that it's a chance for a break for the parent.
Yeah.
And that is so needed. So whether it's a rest, a shower, a chance to read, go for a walk.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, whatever
Things
you need to do.
Things can happen without you right there.
Yes.
I used to think that I couldn't take a shower during homeschool hours or,
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do that because I was on duty. And while I am on duty, it is true. I can entrust my kids to do these things.
Right.
They can't be like the highest level skill things necessarily, but they can do a lot without you.
Right.
And they need that.
Right. That's so good. I think this is something that probably a lot of our listeners already do in some form or fashion, but maybe didn't know that they did. And maybe you've been feeling guilty about that. And I just want to say there is no guilt in this. This is so needed and so good for your kids.
It is.
And it's a great skill you're giving them, and you should not at all feel guilty. You should feel like it's a win-win for everybody.
It is. Also, I think it's very easy for us as parents, as adults, to have, we've talked about expectations before, but I'm going to bring it up again. We have these expectations at where we're at. Like we think the intensity of our kids' work needs to be intense for us or something. It's very hard for us to bring it to an 8-year-old level's intensity. That's so different than a 41-year-old's level of intensity or skill level. And so we need to give our kids credit for what they're doing at their level. And so it might not look like they're doing a whole lot during these autopilot activities, but they're growing by leaps and bounds.
Right. It doesn't seem intense to you as an adult.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because if you had this list of things to do, you might be able to whip it out really quickly and be done.
Right.
Yeah. But to a child, it is actually really intense.
Like 2 math problems where they are working so hard at a new skill, that's so much. It can be so much. So I think sometimes we think, oh, that was only 2 problems. That took you 10 minutes. You have to at least be doing math for 30 minutes or something.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they need to.
Yep. I agree.
It took a lot of brain power.
Yep. So, Maren, what kinds of things do you put on autopilot, and how does that work for you?
Yeah, so one of the things we started this year was the Q&A a day journal.
Yep.
And it's a 3-year journal. We bought it on Amazon. We'll make sure we put the link in. We'll put all these links in our show notes.
Yep.
So, and it's great. It asks a question, top of the page, and then there's room for you to answer the question for 3 years in a row.
Yep.
So it's motivating. Yeah. The kids love it, and it's very easy. That's one of the things that when I first got it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to take 15 seconds of their day. I don't think it's worth it. Yep. But they love it, and they are growing. They're learning to even just put their thoughts down every single day on a piece of paper is a good habit.
Yeah, and they're doing lots of writing.
They are. They actually really are.
At least a sentence or something.
The questions are good, too, for their age.
Yeah, right.
It's exactly what they want to talk about every day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
So I
we
love
have
that.
that.
And
I do that too. Yeah.
yes.
Q&A a day journals.
Yes. Is that on your
That's
list
on my
of...
autopilot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And the hardest
Good.
part about that is pulling them down. I should have them on a
Yeah.
level where they can reach them. Should change that.
That makes it a lot more
That
autopilot.
makes it even more autopilot.
Definitely. Yeah, I had to do that.
Yep. Put
Pull
your
them down.
stuff down low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, well, we do Q&A a day. I also, I can do our math on autopilot. Our math is pretty much done that way. My older two do Khan Academy, and
Yes.
my younger one is doing Prodigy. My older two also do Prodigy sometimes. So all
Sure.
three of them do Prodigy. And all three of them need my help sometimes.
Yeah.
With that. You know, they're learning new skills on Khan Academy, watching videos, and sometimes they need help with their stuff. So I'm available if they need help. But I really like that it's a program where I don't really have to be that involved.
Right.
So, and Prodigy is really getting intense for my 8-year-old. I mean, they're having him do really hard things. So, and he's really motivated to want to do it. So, I do spend some time helping him with different problems, but for the most part, they're doing that on their own. So, I can just put math and they know what to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That I was just going to say that too.
Do you have that too?
We do. We do Prodigy. Our 3 younger kids do Prodigy, so they're 8, and 6. And they love it. I almost feel guilty about how much they love Prodigy.
Yeah.
And they can go in each other's worlds too, which is exciting.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well,
then I think this is too much fun. And then I think, no, wait. It's okay.
It's okay. Math can be fun.
Math can be fun.
Well, I think Prodigy did a good job of making it, like, creating something that kids would actually want to do.
Exactly.
And kids actually want to do this because it's like a game.
It's a wizarding world. It's like Harry Potter, except not. Yes, exactly. So they love that aspect, and then they're motivated to do and I love how Prodigy does the math, the actual math too.
Yeah.
Love it. And yeah, there, like you said, there is no direct teaching, but a lot of it they do kind of figure out.
Yeah.
They show some graphics sometimes, number lines and things like that.
Yeah, to help.
They can kind of figure it out. But yeah, there is sometimes I need to be there.
Yeah.
Just like for one problem.
Yeah.
And then they kind of get it for the rest. Yeah, and then also my kids also do another app called, the company is called Nessy.
Yep.
I think I've talked about it on an episode before. But the actual apps are called Harry Phonics. So, and there's like Harry Phonics 1, Harry Phonics 2, and I believe there's a third one. They may have some more now too. So these are apps that my kids do for phonics and spelling.
Okay.
They do have computer programs where you sign the kids up, and you pay for that.
Okay.
These are not paid apps.
Okay.
So it's kind of like what you do on the computer, except you don't get all the reports.
Oh,
You kind of you don't always know where they're at necessarily.
Right.
So, which I'm okay with. For autopilot time, I'm fine with it.
And do your 8-year-olds enjoy doing that?
Yeah,
or
they do.
Like, I have to do this.
Well, at first they did.
Yeah.
And then they started doing it, and now they enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they were just very leery at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old, no way. No. She's beyond that.
Yeah.
She's beyond that spelling wise and maturity wise. It's for kids. It's for probably younger kids. So
okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Another thing I do for autopilot is deer time.
Yes.
Drop everything and read.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you all do that together?
Well, it's sometimes we all do it together. But if it's an autopilot time, usually it's just on their list of things, and they can choose when they want to do it. So
That's awesome.
I have my older two who are 10 and 12. They do 60 minutes, and my 8-year-old does 30. And
That's awesome.
He can look at a book, a picture book, or he can read a chapter book. As long as he's in a book, I'm fine with that.
That's really great. I think I should put times for my kids too.
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
Yeah.
But I should do that. We've been doing I've been asking my kids to read like a chapter a day or a couple chapters a day or something like that. But
Okay.
maybe I should do times because I feel like they'd probably read more.
Well, yeah, I don't want them to feel like I'm gonna quick get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
My 8-year-olds are still kind of at the point where they want to read to me. I mean, which I want them to too, because
They want to read to you.
they want to read out loud.
Wow.
And which I think is great because, I mean, it is great, except that it's not always super autopilot-y. Except I can do things while they're reading to me. I can clean the kitchen while they're reading to me.
That's interesting. My 8-year-old has never wanted to read out loud to me. All kids are
Well, I
different.
think, yeah, I know it is different. It is different, and well, I think they'd be fine reading on their own, except they wouldn't really. I don't think they'd really read.
Okay.
I think that's where they are.
Oh, yeah.
Probably maturity wise and reading wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd prefer not to.
Yeah.
So it's better if they just read to me. Anyway, so I'm
Okay.
glad they do want to read to me.
Yeah.
But so that's like a autopilot thing for
Yeah.
me right now.
Yeah.
And then my oldest is
Reading.
autopilot reading,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
which is so great.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yes. So reading is a great autopilot thing.
Yep. What else do you have?
Outside.
Oh, yeah. Going outside.
And I think we can easily downplay outside as
Oh,
being
right.
a thing as even being a thing to do.
Right.
But it's so important.
And
So-
how do you do that on autopilot with all your kids? Because my autopilot works like I give everybody a list of things to do and the whiteboard, and then they initial off when they're done.
Oh, that's great. I love
But
that.
then it's hard for outside time. So sometimes I'll put on their list, go outside with your siblings.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah,
all
that's a
have
good
to
idea.
get together and figure out when they're going to go outside.
I love
the same time.
that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't.
I'm gonna do that.
Sometimes there's fighting about it.
Yeah.
But
Today, what did I do? We went down the list of the autopilot things. So there was read, the math app, the reading app, or the spelling app. And then I said, okay, who finished out? Who's gone outside? Nobody. Okay, then that means right now everybody's going out.
yeah. Okay.
So
You just kind
I
of make
don't
them all
know.
go.
I don't
together.
have a good system, I guess, probably for that.
And do you make your kids? Let's get real about going outside.
Let's get real.
Do you make your kids go out for a certain amount of time? Because sometimes my kids will go out for 5 minutes and be like, I'm done.
Oh yeah.
So what do
I
you do
do.
about that?
Yep.
You make them go out for a certain amount of time.
I do usually.
And then what do you? So then after that time is up, then do you
Yeah.
call them in? Because you don't want
No.
to do that. So what do you do?
No. If they're still having fun out there, then I just let them keep playing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when one person comes in and says, "Is it time yet?" then I will say, "Yeah."
Okay. My kids will see. It gets real cold here in Minnesota, so sometimes in the really cold parts of winter,
Yes.
when I say, "Okay, you have to go out for 20 minutes," and
Mhm.
that involves getting all your stuff on and
I know.
whatever.
Takes forever.
Then they are just waiting for the time. Sometimes they're waiting to be able to come in. Like,
Mhm.
when is that 20 minutes going to be done? And they can't focus
Yeah,
on what they're
that's true.
playing on because they're just waiting
Yeah.
for that time to be done.
Well, I keep telling my kids if they come in and keep asking me, "Is it time yet?" and it's
Yeah.
been 2 minutes since the last time somebody came in, I will tell them, if anybody comes and asks me one more time, I'm adding 5 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
You have to play more.
That's good.
Because this is taking away from your playtime.
Yeah.
So
that's
you're
a
gonna
good
need some
idea.
more.
It's a really good idea. What I've been doing is I came up with a new solution for this. I put a boot outside the front door after the 20 minutes is up or whatever
I
time
love
I give them.
it.
So then if they're engaged in their play, they're not going to come over and look to see if the boot's there.
Right.
But if they really want to look for it, then they can. And it's
Such a
quiet
good
enough
idea.
that
Love it.
doesn't interrupt them. Yeah.
So subtle. I love it.
This is what you got to do sometimes when you live in Minnesota and it's the winter.
I know.
Or it's raining, or the weather just
Mhm.
turned slightly cold, and now nobody wants to go outside.
I know. Well, yeah, it is. It is cold. I mean, it's in the 30s, which is cold for even this time of year. It feels
Yeah.
like it's colder than normal.
But it's still
Um,
warm.
But I mean, we have a long winter ahead of us.
Yeah.
If this is too cold for you,
We got a problem.
Oh, goodness. We got a problem.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, we have to toughen up
Yep.
a little bit. Yeah. So, my last thing for autopilot, an autopilot item is chores.
Yeah.
So, that is a thing also that takes brain power ahead of time. We have to plan who's doing what chore and what day and all that kind of stuff. But then that day, it's just, it's planned out. It's right there.
Yep.
Look at what you have to do today. So,
yeah, we do that too.
Yep.
I have a rotating list, and then it's on a loop schedule. Is yours on a loop schedule?
Ours is on a loop schedule.
Yeah,
Yes.
so nice. So like today we did day 3 jobs.
Yes. I took that from you.
Oh yeah.
And it works beautifully.
Works so well.
Nobody gets bored because it's on a loop.
So if you don't know what that is, basically I have 4 days of chores. So on day 1, one of my kids does this, the other kid does this, the other kid does this. On day 2, I have a job for each kid. On day 3, I have a job for each kid. And so then whatever day you're on, like yesterday we did day 2, so today we do day 3. But if today we couldn't do day 3 for some reason, like we were gone all day or something, then we just skip it, and tomorrow we do day 3.
Yes.
Yep. So stuff gets done. Stuff still gets done.
So that's like a well-planned autopilot thing. I love that because it plans for those days where you can't do it or whatever, and then you just pick up where you left off.
Yep.
So I love that.
Another thing I do for autopilot is copy work. That's just a real easy thing. My kids just are copying song lyrics, so they just have their notebooks, take them out, they copy as much as they want, and because it's song lyrics, sometimes they copy for a long time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I have to put that on my autopilot list.
Yeah.
Why don't I have that on there?
I don't know.
How often do you do that?
Well, when we do autopilot. So what I do for autopilot is I have this, like in my head, I've never written this down anywhere, but in my head I have this big list of things.
Right.
And then when it's time to do autopilot, I pick some of those. So we don't always do them for autopilot.
When is it time for autopilot for you? I mean, you said you didn't do it every day?
We don't do it every day. So we just, whenever I need to, like we're doing it right now. That's what my kids are doing right now.
Good.
Or, so like if we do something in the morning, if we're gone in the morning and then we have to come home, usually then I do autopilot. Because I cannot do a big project or something exciting. It's like morning is the time for that for me. Personally. So
for the direct teaching type thing.
Direct teaching.
Yeah.
So I don't always do copy work, but I probably once or twice a week we do it. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, maybe I should do that now that we're talking about this. Maybe I should change up our morning items just for the last couple weeks because we've been talking about this episode. I've been kind of formulating it and trying it out with my kids, and we've been basically doing the same for maybe 5 things every day.
Yeah. Okay.
But now I'm thinking, I could do a loop schedule for autopilot work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I don't want to do it every day because I want to be able to pull it out when it's needed.
Well, for me, I kind of want to do homeschool on autopilot.
Yeah.
I want homeschool to be pretty much autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
like
that.
80% of it.
Yeah.
I just don't do a bunch of me.
You don't do a lot of direct teaching.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to do read aloud type stuff, like so for history and just language arts and things like that. I love reading out loud. That's a big part of learning right there. But I just don't like sitting down and directly teaching my kids.
No,
things.
I know.
So I try to avoid that.
I feel like there are a couple things that I have to do that for. Just little things.
Yeah.
And so on the days when I'm doing autopilot, I don't do those things.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So there's lots of ways to use this in your homeschool.
Yes.
Really.
Definitely.
So you can tweak it however it works for you.
Right. One more thing I do for autopilot is Duolingo.
Oh, yes.
Do you do Duolingo?
My oldest does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she just started on her own, decided.
Wow.
And she does it every single day.
Wow.
I know.
Well, maybe our kids can be friends on there, Then
Oh,
they can
cool.
have little competitions. Not to see who's in a higher level, but it's like, how many days in a row did you do it?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
You're
Is
on
it
a
okay if
streak.
she's doing a different language?
Yeah, what language is she doing?
Norwegian.
Wow.
She chose that. I mean, I'm sure it's because, like I've said on the podcast before, our family is very Norwegian.
Yes.
Very, we grew up in a very Norwegian American family.
Yep.
So she just decided she wanted to
That's awesome.
learn that, which is great. My parents are so proud.
Couldn't do that in a public school. Well, I loved hearing how your autopilot works, Maren. It's a little bit
Yes,
different
you
than
too.
mine,
Yeah.
which is great. And I love
is
sharing
great.
these ideas. And I would be curious from our listeners, how do you do a version of this? Maybe you haven't called it autopilot, but do you do a version of this? And how does it work in your homeschool? I'd love to hear. We'd love to hear.
Me too. Yeah, definitely.
All
All right. Let's move on to loving this week.
right. Maren, what are you loving this week?
Okay, I am loving a shirt from Target.
I love these.
This is real simple.
Is this like my shirt from Amazon? That was
It
my
could
loving
be.
this week, like a few months ago.
That's right.
I wear them every day still. It's still loving this week. So
Well,
I need to hear.
I think I found my shirt.
All right. All right. Let's
You
hear
found
it.
yours on Amazon. So, like, probably the night before our big trip here
Yeah.
to New York City, I decided I don't have the right shirts. I kind of freaked out. Because I had been getting shirts in preparation for this trip, but there's nothing that I was like, yes, this is the one. This is great. So I ran to Target and I was like, I'm probably not going to find anything here, but I did. And it's called Women's Striped Short Sleeve Side Tie T-shirt. And it's by C9 Champion brand.
Yep.
So it's in the activewear section.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
A
And
side tie
it's a
in the
side tie.
activewear section.
Yeah. I know. So it doesn't totally look like an activewear shirt. It's not like something I would probably go to a workout in.
Okay.
But it is great for New York City because it's very thin and light and flowy, and it has that little side tie, so it looks
like you tried.
It looks like I tried a little without trying.
Yeah.
It has some stripes, and I got it in all three colors that were there. There's black and like a teal, and it's kind of like a pink, like the pink that's in the
light pink.
kind
I don't know
like,
what pink is in.
Gold rose. What's the gold?
Oh, rose gold.
Rose gold. Yes, kind of that kind of like pink color, which I wouldn't normally buy, except that I was like, I need the shirt.
I have to get all
need
these.
as many as I can. Yeah, I think there may have been a white one that I did not get because I was like, I don't think that's going to be a good idea.
I feel like I've seen. I thought I'd seen you wear this, but maybe not because you didn't wear this at the conference because you didn't get it by then, right?
I'm pretty sure I didn't. Now I'm thinking
Okay.
back. Maybe I got one a week before,
Okay.
and then I was like, I like that one, and then went back, got the rest. I don't even remember. It's all blurred.
Okay,
But I
shoot,
do
wanna see it.
remember. I remember like at the very last minute getting a bunch. And I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, if you followed me on Instagram, you have seen this shirt because I wear it every single day. Just about.
No, I'm going to be looking
just
for
about
it.
every single day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either that or the t-shirt that I loved this, it was a LTW last summer, which I got from REI. So I have those. Those are my like two now definite like go-to shirts for sure. So
Well, I'm glad you found something with the side tie because
Yeah.
I think we've talked about before, like, can they do something a little bit with basic t-shirts
I know.
and not make them look so basic?
yeah,
I mean, I need a basic t-shirt, but can you just like spice it up just a little bit so I feel like I'm doing something with myself every day?
yeah, and can it be
So-
plain but not like sucking, sear sucking? You know what I mean? Like there's so many t-shirts that are like they're very fitted, and I'm like, no,
Oh.
I don't want that.
My problem is they're very thin.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I know we need very thin for summer, like hot summer heat, but I need a little. I can't have it that sheer.
I know this is okay. So these shirts are so thin, and yet they don't look like they're that thin when you're wearing them. Which is, I was very, very suspicious about that too. But anyway, they're great.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Great.
Yep.
I'm gonna check out your next Instagram story to see it. You're not wearing it right now.
Believe me. Oh yeah, this is the one from REI.
Oh, from last summer.
From last summer.
I was looking at it going, is that it? No, it's not striped.
Should have worn it today. Anyway, Angela, what are you loving this week?
Okay, I have a new favorite Instagram follow.
Great.
I think it might be one of your favorites too, since I am always passing this along to you. But it's the Holistic Psychologist. The.holistic.psychologist.
Oh yes.
This is Dr. Nicole LaPera. She's a psychologist.
Okay.
She is amazing. She posts I would call them like graphics or little like nuggets of information that you might get after years of therapy.
Wow.
She posts them in like little nuggets, and they are always so good and so like I don't know, just like, wow, I wish I had known this 20 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Information. So I really love her. And I feel like I'm getting therapy by following her on Instagram.
That's exactly what I love. I love those nuggets every day. I feel like I could go on a little nugget like that for the rest of the day. Like, thank you for that little reminder, and now I can proceed.
I know. And I think other people must feel the same about her, because I think she's fairly new to Instagram. I don't know. I mean, I feel like she's fairly new. She already has 744,000 followers.
Okay.
And
yeah. And I just realized I wasn't following her. I'm just looking her up.
You weren't?
I'm following her now. I don't know why I wasn't. But anyway, 43 other people that I follow are following her. So I feel like that says a lot too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of you, I'm looking on this list of my mutual friends, a lot of you are already following her. But if you're not,
the few people who aren't yet.
If you're not, you need to, because this is like therapy for me. I mean, like, I read one of her things and I read it over and over again, and I forward it to my friends, and I forward it to Jeremy, and I ruminate on her nuggets of wisdom. I think she's so good. I think she's also started to do some like videos on YouTube, which I know she's mentioned, and I'm like, I need to go watch those.
Yes, please.
Because I bet it's like a free therapy session. And she is a therapist in wherever she lives.
Oh my gosh, that's the best.
She talks a lot about reparenting yourself, which is not like that you had bad parenting, but it's just like healing some wounds that you've had from your past.
We've all had wounds.
She calls it reparenting.
Yeah.
And it's just
oh my goodness.
So good. You should follow her. So okay.
So good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We're so glad you're here, and we're so glad you stayed till the end. Thank you. If you would like to follow us, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We're trying to get to that 10K, so we love those follows. Thank you. We also have a closed Facebook group, Unrefined Homeschoolers. We'd love to have you there. And we have a website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to everything that we talked about on our episodes. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.